Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Colonelcast. On today's episode, we will be discussing the great new film, Joker 2. With me is Florian Himsel.
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm the number one Joker 2 fan, right? I'm here to defend it against all the terrible criticism.
Apparently. And for the first time on the show, Hartsy.
What's up, my yummy yum yuckers?
Hell yeah. So
That's me.
So Joker 2, right? It's been a bit of a flop, you know, critically, commercially, and audience score. It's been doing poorly on all fronts. That's what you like to see in a blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, what do you guys think?
I mean, if you're seeing a score this low, then, like, the only thing that could have happened is that people got offended at it, because, like, obviously the quality of the movie is not 33%, right?
I don't know. I would put it around there, maybe, or maybe lower, honestly.
Yeah.
Really?
Honestly.
Yeah, I did not think it was a very good movie.
Neither did I.
Wow. That is shocking. How is it a bad movie, Purple?
Well, I think what it comes down to is it takes place in one stupid set for like the whole movie. There's a couple other sets. There's like 3 or 4 sets maybe, right, for this whole film.
I mean, that sounds fine to me.
It's just basically nothing really happens, right? He's sort of, spoilers for Joker 2, by the way, but he's sitting there. He's in jail. He's sad. He's in the courtroom. He's sad. He's in the hallway in the jail, and he's sad. He's talking to Harley Quinn, and he's sad. And he doesn't really do much. He doesn't, like, get up to any Joker antics. He can't, really. Just sort of due to where the last film left off. There was really no chance to give him anything, like, more interesting or bigger or better to do. So it's just sort of trapped here.
I mean, it was all there. He did escape in the end. They could have made that sequence longer and he gets caught. But they decided to focus on the courtroom drama and the musical fantasies and the epic romance. And how can you not be impressed by those things?
Oh, well, that's its own thing, right? The musical segments, like, okay, so in a classic musical, a classic movie musical, you're meant to have these songs that, like, they sort of heighten the emotion of any, like, major scene going on, right? Like in Phantom of the Opera, there's the perfect musical bit where they have the double song, 2 songs in a row. First one explains who the Phantom of the Opera is. It reveals him. It goes through his spooky cavern and stuff. It's a whole big revelation for him, and then immediately after is the music of the night scene that fully, like, establishes the romance of the movie and stuff like that. And that's like perfect, right? You want to have the musical scenes, like, add to the film and be like scenes in their own right, where they actually, like, progress what's going on.
Well, instead of Phantom of the Opera, it was called Phantom of the Opera, and instead of being a phantom, it's Phantom, and he taxes your food.
I don't understand. You just said Phantom twice.
Well, he taxes the theater he's in, so, I don't know. But yeah, musical sequences, right? They're meant to be useful for the movie. They're not meant to just sort of happen, and then, like, sometimes they're real and sometimes they're not, but they just sort of happen, and they just, like, I guess accentuate the emotions, but they don't really, you know, like, you could cut every single musical sequence out of this movie, and you lose, like, absolutely nothing about the plot whatsoever. And I think it's a failure.
I think we could probably cut one of the musical scenes. I don't know which one, but, like, it did drag on a little. But I don't know. I think, they're not terrible. Like the Joker is just stuck in prison, so he's just got nothing but his fantasy right now. I think that's worth exploring in some way. Don't you think?
Well, can you, like, remember even what any of the songs were? Or any of that?
I can never remember songs in musicals. I guess I'm magical that way.
Okay, well, I don't know. I thought it was a failure. I thought it was pointless.
Damn, I thought that you would be at least a little positive. Jeez, I just got 2 guys who completely hated the movie here.
Yeah, and Hartsy, what are your problems with this film?
Honestly, fucking it's there's too much to say, really. I think it's an assassination of the character I fell in love with from the first movie of Arthur Fleck. You know, the Joker. He's my guy. He's my man. He's literally me. And this movie kills him. Both figuratively and literally kills the character, and that makes me very upset. And I think the movie's just boring. The movie is boring. Half of the movie, or more than half of the movie, is a boring legal drama that just goes over the events of the first movie with nothing new of substance happening.
I mean, there's plenty to do substance-wise. Like, what defense is he gonna go? And when he finally decides to do his own defense and to become the Joker, I thought that was incredibly good. And all the scenes where he's suffering in prison, I thought that was very much in line with the original The Joker movie.
Oh, did you like the scene where you get raped by the guards?
Well, not that one particularly, but I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's a criticism of the prison system. I don't know. You gotta have that one in there, you know. Always gonna complain about society. Am I right, folks?
I don't know. I think one of the issues I think that I feel here is that it does not have any empathy for Arthur at all. Whereas the first one, like the whole point of that movie is that you get into his head and like it's, you know, it feels great when he shoots Murray because you're in his mind, you're in his state, and you're like, yeah. This is what should happen. This is what is deserved and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
You felt that it was deserved?
Well, that's what the movie's doing. It's put you into your head, and it puts you into his head. Sorry, and it's that's the whole point.
I mean, all he had to do was not commit all these murders. Jeez.
Well, you know, but it's
I thought Murray
is...
was really cool in the end. Okay, and he really didn't deserve it. He, like, considering that you're like a talk show host, and then like you find out that your guest is actually a horrible murderer. I think he handled it really well. Okay, I thought he was nice enough to the murdered man. Okay, I don't see how he could possibly deserve death in any way.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point, though, right? Like you're watching that, and it's like, yeah, I mean, Murray obviously, you know, for being like a dickhead talk show host or whatever, like he's a jerk, but he doesn't really deserve to get shot in the head. But when you're watching the movie, it's like, oh, this is Murray just like piling on top of this poor guy who's been through all this stuff. He's been assaulted like over and over. He's at his lowest possible point through everything that happens in Joker. And you're like, yeah, now he's going to get his revenge here. And that's like, yeah, it's supposed to make you feel like in that moment that he's in the right here. And I think the one thing that the movie had an opportunity to do here, the sequel, is to really take that like high moment of like glory for the Joker and sort of strip him down and push him back down to reality and stuff, which it kind of does, but it also like he doesn't start on like a high note, right? He's not the Joker at the start of this movie is not the one from the end of the last one where he's like dancing in the halls and stuff. He's like sad and miserable again, so they have to like build him back up to be confident, and that's like a third act scene is when he's confident again. It's just, I don't know why they did it this way.
All right, I don't think Florian can properly understand the empathy angle that you just went at, because Florian cannot imagine himself as a character like the Joker, as Arthur Fleck. Arthur Fleck is a downtrodden, beaten down man, casted aside from society. No one loves him. No one cares about him. You know, he is like he is just like a guy who's suffering immensely, and that's why I related to his character in the first film.
Wow, such a long-suffering guy. Damn,
yeah.
If only I could understand.
Yeah. No, you just like cannot put yourself in the shoes of like a struggling person, so you can't understand that angle.
Yeah, man, I just never imagined a girlfriend and then found out she wasn't real. That was a big problem there for the Joker.
That's not his only problem in the movie, dude.
That's like third or fourth down the line, yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought that was the one that you related to. I don't know what you relate to getting beat up by thugs. You think that's like really relatable to everyone?
Well, it's just being in like a really like bad situation and stuff, right? Like everyone, I feel like most people have gone through like pretty bad days, pretty bad weeks, where it just feels like things pile on and stuff over and over.
Yeah, and some people go through like not just a bad day or a bad week, but a bad life, like Arthur. Mm-hmm. And I really feel for these characters, you know?
Damn.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I thought I felt for him back in the day, but then I watched it again now, and I'm thinking like, wow, this guy is like really going for it. He's breaking the law at every turn, and what for? Why is he doing this?
Every murder he commits in the first movie is justified. He kills the 3 fucking Wall Street guys who are rich white men, so they automatically deserve to die. They automatically deserve to die. I'm sorry. He kills the big bully who's bullying the little guy and Joker, and then he kills Murray. All of which are people who probably deserve to die.
And his mother. Don't forget.
His mother 100% deserved to die. Every single murder he commits in that movie is justified, and
his mother is exactly on the same level of deserving to die as Arthur, because all the problems that Arthur has is because he's completely delusional, and he got it from his mom, because they are both incapable of distinguishing reality from their own fiction in their head. It's crazy.
Yeah,
his mother like severely abused him growing up and was a horrible person.
Well, he doesn't even know that until later in the movie when he finds out. So he probably didn't, like, he probably repressed it really good. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think she was necessarily like in control of what was happening during that whole period anyway. Like I don't think any of these people really deserve to die, except for maybe those Wall Street assholes. But I mean, we don't know what they were going through, right? We don't know. We get to see Arthur's perspective. We don't know what kind of bad day they were having.
Come on, they're rich white man who boo-hoo, am I going to shed a tear because a couple fucking rich fuckers get shot? No.
Well, that's why they're the first to go down, right? Just because they're the most deserving.
Couldn't understand what empathy is, so he does not shed a tear for any of the victims of the Joker.
Yeah, I don't shed a tear for the rich Wall Street guys or the big bully or the evil fucking disheveled bitch who bullied his son and tortured him throughout his life. Yeah.
Well, I think I mean, for the bully guy, like he's I forget his name, but there's a great scene with Gary in the second one here. I thought it was the highlight of the movie was this Gary scene. Once again, honestly, highlight of both films is the Gary stuff. But just in this scene, he's like, Joker goes up and he's like, yeah, Gary, he was a horrible guy. He was a big bully. He made fun of you and stuff. And Gary is like, well, I mean, yeah, he's like an asshole, but he doesn't deserve to be like murdered horribly with scissors and stuff. And I think
he doesn't even remotely deserve to be murdered, because he actually tried to help Arthur by giving him a gun after he's been attacked by thugs, and then he's attacked again by the Wall Street guys, and then he uses the gun to defend himself, and this poor guy gets the blame, even though he probably would have been dead without that gun. But okay, yeah, let's fucking stab him too, I guess. Why not? I guess he's white. I guess this is the rage that we got. Wait, Arthur is white. You can't sympathize with him, Hartsy. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, no, I don't sympathize with the Wall Street guys because we're rich Wall Street guys.
I'm talking about the guy who gave Arthur the gun. Like, what?
Yeah.
How does he deserve to die?
I don't know. I just don't like him.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's meant to be a prick, right? And that's, like, cause if he were like a saint, then even by the time you get to that point in the movie, it still wouldn't feel great if he got scissors in his eyes and stuff, But
I mean, if he was a saint, then Arthur would be dead because he wouldn't have had a gun.
I don't know.
He is the hero that we deserve, and he's brutally murdered. All right, what a poor guy.
Ralph, or whatever, he is the hero we deserve. this fat struggling clown guy.
I don't think he was struggling. He only was struggling.
No one who is not struggling is working at a clown agency every day. Okay, it doesn't happen. We saw in Joe's apartment.
This is a prestigious clown agency, okay? Before Arthur made a mockery of it with his crime spree, okay?
It was a dirty, terrible clown agency. Every building in the whole movie is dirty and terrible, except for the rich theater where they watch fucking Charlie Chaplin.
Wow.
That's some shit I hate in both of these movies, by the way, where Todd Phillips is just, like, jerking off over these, like, very basic, like, old Hollywood things he's aware of. Like, fuck off. It's so cringe. Yeah, like the Charlie Chaplin thing, the thing with the guys singing on the boat or whatever, and the old 50s thing. It's like, we're aware that you direct movies, you probably also watch movies, okay? We don't need it proved. We don't need it fucking thrown up in the movie. It's not necessary.
Well, this movie was specifically very much based on other movies, so I think you're not gonna get away from those references so easily.
It was based on 80s movies, though. It wasn't based on fucking Charlie Chaplin from the 40s.
Well, guess he should have only had 80s references. Guess he could limit that.
It should have just been King of Comedy and Taxi Driver on the TVs, yeah.
Wait, but doesn't this play in the 50s or whatever? I'm not sure, actually. I feel like it's really old-timey, though.
Does what play in the 50s?
Joker 1. When does that play?
When does it takes place in, like, 1981. There's no way you think that movie takes place in the 50s, Florian. Come on.
I just watched something else that took place really long ago. Oh, right, King of Comedy.
That's also in the 80s. That just takes place in the year they made it.
Yeah.
That's a good movie, though. I've now seen King of Comedy. It was very good.
You've never seen it?
I have seen it now, actually. I watched it between our podcasts, and I thought it was fantastic. Not quite as good as Joker 1, but still very, very good.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, yeah. I mean, I thought it took too long, but I guess that's because it's a really old movie.
Well, I just have to disagree. I thought it went by pretty fast, honestly. Might have been paced too quickly.
Every time that Popnik was just deranged, and it took forever for him to figure out something, which is great.
You know, my favorite part of that movie was when what's his face, Jerry Springer or whatever, he's like walking around, and he's, you know, there's the lady who's like super nice, like, oh, please talk to my son on the phone here, look, I'm gonna prove that I met Jerry Springer, and then he's like, no, I gotta go, and she shouts, I hope you get cancer. And then that line reappeared in Joker 2 when he's signing the book, and the guy is like, yeah, he's gonna die, and this book's gonna be worth a bunch of money. That's what he writes in the book, is I hope you die of cancer.
Oh, you're right. That's perfect.
Yeah, it was a very funny callback.
It's amazing how they're trying to show these famous people as unreasonable, and then like, as soon as he says no, she says, I hope you die of cancer. Yeah, that's
well, I think he's very reasonable in King of Comedy. This is a King of Comedy review now, by the way. But, maybe not too much of a King of Comedy review. I don't know if... we should stick to Joker, if possible.
I think it's definitely good that the Joker gets, like, really destroyed, okay? I thought that Arthur Fleck had to pay for his crimes, and this movie is good for that. But I don't think that it killed him off, to be honest. I think... he just got stabbed in the stomach. I think they could easily just say that he was like saved by the nurse, and then they could do a Joker 3 where we could have all the crazy shit that people wanted to see. Okay. I just think that this movie made sense, that he had to be punished for his crimes, and the only reason why we're not going to get Joker 3 is because people didn't see this movie, even though I think it's pretty good. So that's tragic.
Wow.
I mean, I guess the director got what he wanted, because he clearly wanted to stop making Joker movies, so he's probably fine with that. But I think he still put in a really good effort.
I guess so. He made a whole lot of money off of this. Him and Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, they all probably made a whole bunch of money on this.
Mm-hmm. I guess so. I mean, unless they... well, who knows? Maybe they decided that they had a big deal where they were going to get a lot of money, but then they decided to make this movie instead, and they just got paid barely, you know, because they insisted on this very tragic movie instead of the movie that people wanted.
I think I read somewhere that like half of the budget went to like Todd Phillips, the writer, and Joaquin and Lady Gaga. I think I read that somewhere that like, absurd amounts of money went straight to them for this movie.
Well, hopefully the studio makes their money back, at least in some way.
Eventually, I'm sure they will. Hartsy, what do you think of Lady Gaga's character, Lee Quinzel, in this movie?
Sorry, I'm eating a jar of peanut butter right now. I think it's I think Harley could have been a cool addition to this Joker universe. I think it could have been interesting, but the way that Harley's executed this might be the worst Harley in any piece of media ever, and I'm very upset by that.
Okay. I can tell you right off the bat that's not true, because that Suicide Squad movie has a terrible, terrible Margot Robbie Harley Quinn in it, and probably worse than this one somehow.
She's really sexy. What are you talking about?
She's fucking stupid, okay? Everything that they've done with Harley since the 90s has been dog shit and terrible.
She is the star of that movie. You're insane.
Yeah, and that's a stupid, bad movie. No one liked that Suicide Squad movie. Everyone hated it because it was bad.
The second one?
The first one. She was barely in the second one.
Yeah, I never like Harley,
Oh, the
regardless
first
of the
one, yeah.
continuity or universe she's in. I've never been a Harley fan.
You gotta watch the Batman animated series, okay, where she comes from. That's like the one time they've done her well. And maybe the Arkham games, kinda. Like a little bit. She's kind of annoying in those too, honestly. I don't know.
She is supposed to be annoying.
Yeah,
in the perfect world, I don't think a Harley should have been added to this Joker movie universe. I think they could have done it well. We just didn't. But in the best universe, there would be no Harley at all because I don't want my Joker to have a Harley.
Yeah, I think it's so from what I've gathered, like the making of this movie, like the musical angle of it and the like duet angle was sort of one of the first ideas before they came up with like anything else, and that's it kind of shows because Harley's like impact on the plot could easily just be replaced with like, you know, anything else. Like she doesn't add a whole lot. I don't think she does anything super pivotal that's like necessary that you could have you needed to have. Like what?
The whole ending is based on her rejecting him. Like if she hadn't rejected him, then he would have just run away with her and they would have lived happily ever after. But she is the one who decided if she can't have the Joker, then she doesn't want Arthur Fleck, and then Arthur Fleck is destroyed because his fans were so they would immediately stab him in the back if he doesn't do what they want, and well, in the front even. So I think she is the perfect encapsulation of this movie and its relationship to the audience.
I don't know. It's just it seems like she. I don't think her performance is like good enough to justify dedicating like large chunks of the movie to this character who really like her only real purpose is to like get him to be the Joker again and then to kick him while he's down at the end when he's not the Joker anymore. And it's like there are other ways you could do that and keep it like focused on Arthur more. There are bits where it like cuts to Harley, which is weird because usually like in the first one there's like hardly even a frame that doesn't have Arthur in it, right? It's like the whole thing is from his perspective. Yeah. But there's like we get like, oh, here's Harley doing her makeup. Here's Harley walking up to the courthouse, and it's like she is not a deep enough or like well realized character in this film to the point where you need any of that. Like she could have just not been there, I think.
Well, I mean, when she's walking up to the courthouse, I think Arthur is like really not sure of himself, but then she shows up, and then he's like doubling down on what he was gonna do. I think that was pretty important, right?
Maybe. I guess she represents like the obsessed fan who like wants to turn him into something he's not or whatever. Like how people turn the first movie into something it's not. I don't know. Yeah. Outside of like ham-fisted kind of metaphors and stuff, like this like meta narrative crap, it's just I don't think she works in the movie.
Well, what does Hartsy have to say about this?
That I'm really tired and want to go to bed.
Oh,
wow.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I reject the premise that they have to atone for the first movie. This entire movie is sorry for the type of people that the first movie resonated with, for what the first movie represents. They're ashamed of themselves and are trying to right a wrong that wasn't wrong in the first place.
That is true. I mean, there's the bit where like I think it's another very funny scene in the movie when he like gets picked up by the other Joker people and they're like, oh yeah, we gave him what they fucking deserved. Like they're like quoting his line and shit. And it's and they're portrayed as like very stupid and annoying, which, you know, it's I don't know. I don't think there was actually that many people who were like, oh yeah, Joker is so epic and so based and he's like such a perfect role model that we need to aspire to. Like I don't think that was a thing after the first movie. I thought everyone was like, yeah, he's a pitiable, very sad character. That was like sort of the message most people took away from that, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, how many Joker cells are out there? How many people really stand the Joker?
I don't know. And the way that they do it is it does sort of come off like, oh yeah, if you thought the first movie was cool, you're like a bad person, which is like It's weird. It's just an odd way to do the movie, honestly.
If you found yourself relating to Arthur, seeing some of yourself in him, you're a bad person because the movie resonated with you. Fuck off.
Yeah, if you relate at all to this character who we built a whole movie about making you relate to him, then like you're evil. And it's like, what are you doing? Why is he not relatable in this one at all? Why is he just awful and sad?
Well, the whole point of the first Joker movie is that we don't even know half the time what's happening because Arthur is just having his hallucinations, right? And then he just ends up committing more and more murders. And like normally when you see that kind of movie, you gotta think like, oh yeah, man, this guy's doing some really fucked up shit. But then it turns out that people didn't really think that way, and you yourself, Purple, also said that you find it relatable what he did in the end. So I think it actually was well deserved that he had to be torn down a bit, you know?
I don't think what he did was relatable. I think his situation and can we like create a situation where you can see like, yeah, this is sort of the natural conclusion where like this these like horrible failings in society will like drive a person to do this. And I think that's like kind of realistic, and it's you can relate like, oh, if you have like a really shitty day and you're like, oh, I wish I could just take a gun and just shoot this guy who's like obnoxious at the bank or whatever, you know, like people have those thoughts, right? And it's like the whole movie sort of builds up to like making that into reality.
Yeah, but if those thoughts like get made relatable in that way, then I think it only makes sense that you would actually show us a mirror of where these thoughts really lead. And we have the Joker, and we don't know, did he actually inspire people to riot? Did he actually break out of police confinement in the end? Or not, you know, the ending is left ambiguous, and now we finally find out that yeah, he actually did inspire people. People did somehow buy into his violence, and then like it made sense that it relates to the audience in that way too, because they did want to have more Joker, even though the first Joker probably didn't really want to have a sequel. So just the fact that they had to make one kind of tells you that the people did deserve this, you know?
I don't think it works on that level though. Like it's not like all of the consequences are super abstract and stuff. You don't, because the whole fucking movie takes place in this prison. You don't really see the outside world in very much detail at all. You don't see like what's been going on. No one even mentions the fact that like Joker's big rampage at the end of the first one like killed the Wayne family. That's not even brought up. They never show like what's like people rioting outside of like a few bits of the courtroom and stuff, I guess. It's just, it doesn't really do that. Like even like his consequences for like what's going to happen to him is like, oh, you're going to get the death penalty. What's that mean? You're going to die in like 20 years when they finally get around to doing it? Like,
I mean, I don't think it takes that long, does it?
Yeah,
it does.
The death penalty is insane.
Yeah.
Really? It can't be. Maybe a year, right?
No, it takes like 20 years, like decades.
People wait on the death penalty on death row for decades.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be so retarded if that were...
Oh, it is. True. It is retarded.
But I mean, if they're like contesting that case, then yeah, that would drag it out. But if they just
the case has been decided, and they're on death row, and it just takes them like 20 damn years to get around to it. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know how many people are on death row. If it's like they've got like 30 million people on there or some shit. I don't know how many days it can possibly take to like wipe down the table after you give them the injection.
It's got to be legal reasons why it takes that long.
I don't know. You'd have to look into it, I guess. But it does take like decades and decades for people to be done with their death row and be killed. So,
yeah. This is really, really crazy. I can't really take.
There's currently 12,213 death row inmates in the United States right now.
Wow. I'm actually looking at a graph here that says average time between sentencing and execution, and it's up to 240 months now. Wow.
Yeah, 240 months. That's a lot of months.
Yeah, that sounds like almost 20 years. In fact, it sounds exactly like 20 years. Wow. Well, that is completely retarded then, because like you might as well just not kill them at that point. Like if you already had them in prison for 20 years, you don't really have to kill them at that point.
Yeah, Arthur in this movie, he's like 40 and like malnourished and sad and stuff and like sick. He always looks really sick anyway. Like, will he even last? Will he even make it? Will he just die of fucking old age? At 60 or something? We don't even know.
Wait, how old is he supposed to be? He can't be that old, right?
I don't know. He looks
Maybe.
like... I just assume he's at least 40, because Joaquin Phoenix looks at least 40.
Well, now that I've heard this information, I'm thinking that I actually want a Joker 3 where he's in prison for 20 years and he's waiting for the death penalty. That would be peak Kino, actually, if we could see that.
That could be pretty epic. I have a bit of a pitch for Joker 3, by the way. They could adapt the comic book storyline of the 3 Jokers, where for some reason in the comics at one point they were like, yeah, Batman he sits in a chair that teaches him everything. He like answers whatever question he wants, and he asks like, what's the Joker's name, and the chair is like, which one? And so there were 3 Jokers in the comic books, just in the background. They never dealt with them or saw them or anything, but there were 3 of them. And then one day there was a really shitty comic where they went through that. But it's I don't know. They could do 3 Jokers, right? Maybe Jack Nicholson comes back at like 95, however old he is. Get Jared Leto in there. It would be fantastic. Get a Heath Ledger impersonator. That'd be great.
Wow, the Joker multiverse. Okay, I guess I'm sold.
Yeah, it could be a multiversal Joker movie, and they break him out of prison. They break Arthur out, and they take him on a grand Joker adventure. They take him to the big parade scene from Batman '89. They take him to, I don't know, when that bus flips or whatever in The Dark Knight. You know, they take him to all their greatest hits, and he's like, "Hey, this gives me new purpose. I love being the Joker, even if I'm the worst Joker. I love it."
Well, he's probably the best Joker, but. Man, that would be crazy if they just take all the drama from the first 2 movies and it's like, whoop, oh, actually, he was saved in the hospital, and then they go on this magical Joker adventure, and then we don't know, was he saved, or is he just imagining this whole adventure in his head, and it's actually, like, really, really cool, but also really sad at the same time? Wow. That would be a great Joker movie.
Mm-hmm. It would be fantastic. They should... You know, the multiverse thing, I mean, Jack Nicholson doesn't have long left, right? If they paid him $20 million, I'm sure he'd come back, even though I think he has, like, dementia or something. But, you know, they could get him back. There's no reason not to.
They'll just have the dementia Joker, wow.
Yeah.
Dementia Joker? I hardly know her. Dementia Joker? I hardly know her.
He doesn't remember if he put pudding in the water supply or poison.
Uh-huh. Dementia Joker.
Dementia Joker.
Brilliant.
They could get Dan Henschel Joker, or the Chuckler, whatever he's doing these days. You know?
I don't know who that is.
They could get the Joker baby guy. He goes, "I'm the Joker baby," or whatever.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, definitely. We definitely need that guy.
Yeah. They can get Mark Hamill in there, you know. Except he's animated. It's like a Looney Tunes, like Wile E. Coyote thing.
2D animated Joker.
Yeah, and he's just...
Who framed the Joker?
Yeah, who framed the Joker? And they revealed that Arthur didn't actually do anything. He didn't do any murders, and it was Gary all along.
Wow.
Or was it actually the Joker who was in Arthur all along?
Or yeah, it could be one of these multiversal Jokers. Who's the real Joker, who did all the real Joker crimes across every universe. Maybe all the Jokers are framed. Maybe every single one of them is innocent, and they've all been framed.
Yeah,
even the ones we see, like, shove a pencil into some guy's eye, like, it wasn't him, it was someone else.
And then the real Joker, the Jonkler, comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be the best scene. He just beatboxes for an hour. Yeah.
They could bring in Emperor Joker. Deep cut comic reference.
Wow. They can bring Space Joker from Arkham Space.
They could bring in Space Joker. Yeah.
Is that a thing that happens?
I don't know. I'm sure there's been a Space Joker. Well, they don't go to space in those Arkham games, if that's what you're saying.
I think Yati just said that the next game would have them in space, but no.
Has Batman ever gone
That was
to
probably
space?
a joke from that guy.
I know, but it's
Batman goes to space frequently, though. He has the Watchtower. He owns the Watchtower, which the Justice League work out of, and it's like a base on the moon or some shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, it'd be a satellite.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's probably been both at various points, I'm sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure it can shoot a laser, right? At Earth.
I don't remember.
Or maybe not.
No.
Well, it definitely orbits Earth. It's gotta, because it
Well, the moon
works
already
best.
does that, though, so you could just build it on the moon.
No, you could be on the wrong side of the moon at times. It wouldn't work.
No, the moon always faces the same way.
Yeah, well, if you orbit the moon, you wouldn't always be on that side of the moon.
Well, no, you just build it on the front of the moon, and then the moon is orbiting, and you don't have to deal with the orbiting thing.
I guess you could orbit that way. Well,
We should blow up the moon.
We could blow up the moon.
I think we should blow the moon up.
I bet if we tried, we probably could.
Yeah, the Joker blows up the moon to destroy the Watchtower. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's a scene in the in this Multiversal 3 Jokers film, which now has 27 Jokers, but that's fine.
We need to get one of those. We need to get one of the big Jew lasers and fire them at the moon.
Jesus.
Are you saying the Joker is a Jew? Wow.
No, I'm talking about the Jewish space lasers. Jewish space lasers.
The ones that burn down Hawaii or whatever?
Well, yeah, they only aim towards Earth. They don't shoot at the moon.
Okay.
We need to redirect it to shoot at the moon.
It's possible.
The Joker just has a mirror, and that's how the moon is destroyed.
Yeah, he pulls out the cartoon Joker pulls out a comically large mirror that's as big as the whole Earth, and it reflects the laser back into the moon and blows it up.
Perfect.
They could have the Batman Who Laughs, which is what if Bruce Wayne became the Joker? But he's also Batman. He was Batman, and then he killed the Joker, and then the Joker became him, and is Batman Joker? You guys got to know about the Batman Who Laughs, right?
I know about the Batman Who Laughs. Yeah,
I don't think I do.
This classic, amazing comic book character who has a really cool design and is in a bunch of shitty stories.
He does have a really cool design.
I bet
he does.
He looks great.
Yeah.
The Batman Who Laughs.
He's got a spiky thing on his eyes. It's great.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys know
Sauron.
You guys know DC Comics is partnering up with Sonic the Hedgehog to create Sonic the Hedgehog XDC Comics, and Shadows stand in for Batman.
Who's going to be the Joker in that?
I don't know.
Which Sonic character is most Joker-like? Who would it be?
Would it be Tails?
I don't know.
Probably not Tails. That doesn't seem like that would fit.
I mean, I guess Eggman, because he's like the mad genius guy.
Maybe, but he's I have to. Is Sonic like Superman in this though, or?
I don't know.
Okay, because if that's the case, then Eggman would have to be Lex Luthor because they're both bald.
All I know is Shadow is the stand-in for Batman in this Sonic comic universe, which I think is cool.
Okay, they're doing an amalgam. They're pulling an amalgam with but with Sonic and Batman instead of
That's pretty cool.
Sonic does get around.
That's his thing. He does it quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's been everywhere now. Damn.
Yeah.
He's way better at it than the Flash. It's crazy.
It's true.
I guess he has to be the Flash, actually, right? Damn.
Maybe.
That would make sense.
Flash hasn't had a good movie
really fast
though.
too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh wait, the Flash movie was great. How dare you?
Oh my God, I have not seen the Flash movie. Okay, but I will stand on the fact that it's probably terrible. I should watch it.
Ezra Miller is amazing. All right. I'm for him, but he's all right.
Ezra Miller, that's a real life Joker right there. They should have cast Ezra as Joker in this Multiversal Joker 3.
We should have casted him in lava and just like burned him.
Well, that's rude.
Why do you hate him?
Possibly deserved. I don't know. There's what else is there to discuss in Joker 2, the sequel to the 2019 film Joker?
Joker 2, the sequel.
It's true.
So how long did it take you until you started hating the movie? Because like the first half an hour is probably like as good as the original Joker.
No, that was the worst, most boring part. It didn't take long at all because it was really boring and nothing happened.
Building anticipation, jeez.
Yeah, I checked. By the way, I checked this. By half an hour into the movie in Joker 1, he was like shooting people on the subway, right? Like big things were going on. By half an hour into Joker 2 here, like literally nothing has happened. Literally nothing at all. He's like met Harley, and that's it. It's like just a big waste of time. There is no reason this movie has to be like 2.5 hours. By the way, or 2 hour 20, whatever it is.
Well,
it's too long.
Showing his life in prison, jeez.
I don't care. I can imagine that. Everyone knows what
Wow.
shitty life and shitty
Wow.
prison is like.
So anyways, I just wanted to say that I saw this movie with a girl, and like she was interested like most of the time, and then in the end she was like, "Oh no, that's so sad." When he was murdered, she was totally rooting for him. Damn.
Hell yeah!
Wow.
That seems like a base girl rooting for
I
Arthur.
know, right?
Hell yeah!
We have this entire movie listing off all his terrible, terrible crimes, and in the end it's like, no, don't kill him.
Probably because she's actually smart and can see that all of those murders were justified, unlike you.
Wow.
Yeah, clearly.
You can't just kill people because they're mean to you on TV. You can't do it.
I think you should be allowed to kill anyone as long as you don't like them.
Well, you're not allowed to
Okay.
kill the Joker, apparently.
Yeah, people are more mad about the Joker being dead than anything else, really, that happens in the whole movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
By the way,
peak
here's one, like, objectively, I think almost subjectively, horrible decision in this film is the fact that his whole, like, character development, his whole switch in the third act, it's not seeing people around him, like, the consequences of his actions. It's not seeing, like, the rioting outside or seeing, you know, maybe something bad happens to Harley or something because of his Joker antics, you know? No, he gets raped in the movie. They put in, like, a really out of place, super gritty, super fucking dark, depressing, like, rape scene, and that's like his whole character motivation that like informs every action he takes in the third act. It's so stupid. It's crass and like poorly done. It's terrible.
Wait, so the rape is what made him turn good? Wow,
Yes.
that's
People have been
insane.
joking about this. They've been joking about like all Batman needed to do all that time was yeah, and it's I don't know.
That is brilliant. Wow.
It's bizarre and terrible. I thought it was just an awful way to do that, like instead of, you know, writing like real character development for him or something.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was like really crazy when he just decided that he wasn't the Joker, but I didn't think that it was like specifically trying to get better. I just thought that he's like saying it to get sympathy, but I guess it doesn't really make sense because he admits to like one more murder, so he would definitely not be able to get away with it.
Well, I mean, the moral of it at the end is that like, oh, Joker isn't like a split personality or whatever. It's just him. Like, it's just another, like, it's just like a face that he put on to like kill people and stuff. And that, I think that works, honestly. I think that's like a decent idea, but they do it so poorly. It's so bad. Like, all he does as the Joker in this movie is like represent himself in court and put on the makeup, and he does his fucking Southern lawyer impression, and that's it.
Well, I saw it first, okay, when he put on the makeup in the courtroom, and he was through all this shit, and then in the end he decides, no, I will represent myself, and yes, I will wear makeup, and they
Wow.
let him do it, and I thought that was really powerful, okay, but I guess nobody was impressed.
It's kind of absurd that
silly.
they let him do that they let him put on the clown makeup and the hair. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They put in a
Yeah,
line
well-
like, oh, there's no official rule that you can't show up dressed like a clown, and I guess maybe there isn't, but they'd probably be like, yeah, I'll... Like, there are things for this, like, oh, you're, like, contempt of court or whatever, right? That's, like, a thing. They could get him on that.
Well, the point he was making is that as a lawyer you can dress up as a clown. Probably not as a
Oh.
defendant, but as a lawyer he was permitted to be a clown. So there you go.
I feel like that just wouldn't fly. I feel like they would not allow that to be the case. I don't know.
Well, he just wanted to be Saul Goodman so bad. Okay, he just wanted to have the colorful suits and the clown makeup.
He didn't want to be Saul. He wanted to be fucking Foghorn Leghorn or something with this voice he puts on. And, you know, we don't have the expert Southern lawyer here, Erich. We don't have him here. So, Florian, could you do a Southern lawyer impression here?
Wow, I am so bad at that. Wow.
I want to hear it. I want to see.
Well, I say the Joker is innocent, all right, and he killed his mother. I tell you, and he is therefore still innocent. I mean, that's probably as good as the Joker did it too. So whatever.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thank you.
Yep.
Now, Hartsy, what about your Southern lawyer voice?
No.
No. We can't go. I thought we were all gonna have a beautiful moment. We all do the Southern lawyer. I had
might
this
have
plan.
grown
That was the
up
whole
in
point of the
South.
podcast. I wasn't even
I may
gonna.
have grown- I may have grown up in the South, but I cannot do a Southern accent for the life of me.
Damn.
Wow. Maybe you
I'm not
can do
even
a
going to
Mexican
upload this.
Joker
It's
impression.
done.
A Mexican Joker impression? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that would save it. Maybe that would save this podcast.
I mean,
I don't know.
You guys got me when I'm at my lowest energy. I have a flight to catch early morning tomorrow, and it's 2 a.m, so this is not a very good Hartsy podcast.
Yeah, we had to reschedule so that Purple could see the Joker again, and then he didn't see the Joker again. So.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it again anyway, so...
So I'm staying up to 2 a.m. on a night where I need to catch a flight tomorrow for nothing. Thanks, dude.
For the epic... for the epics.
Wow.
For the content.
Yeah, for the content.
Yeah.
I guarantee you nobody's listening at this point.
Wow. Type of thing.
You guys can just
people
say all the awful, terrible things on your mind and no one will hear.
comment down below if you're
Or
still
in
watching,
your
okay?
Well, Hartsy's
We need
too
to
good
know.
for this. He doesn't put up with this low grade podcast, man.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I do. I put up with it, just not at 2 a.m.
Wow.
That's fair.
I mean,
He's
I was
had-
on that Sandy Cheeks podcast, and that might be the lowest quality thing I've ever been a part of.
Wow.
That's lower than super lit food review epic bread.
Yeah. Lower
Damn.
than super lit fucking. I don't even remember what I called it.
Super
Yeah,
lit
see.
food review epic bread.
Super lit food review epic bread. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a classic video, by the way.
Thank you.
Pretty slick. It's a good
I
name.
made that video in like a minute.
That's all the best videos are made in like a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like 15, 14 even when I made that.
Yeah. No one's
Jeez.
ever made a good video that's longer than like a minute, especially not one that reaches like, like 46 and a half minutes or something. Like it's just ridiculous, honestly.
46. What's that in reference to?
The joke is we're 46 and a half minutes into the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
damn.
it's not really a video, just a podcast, but okay, yeah.
It's I mean there is
Well,
there is no visual element really. There's just a picture that I've
Exactly.
sloppily put together, but it's good enough,
Well,
right?
Well, Hartsy has been through enough. He's been woken up at this late time, unreasonably.
I'm always
and
hashtag woke. Hispanics for Harris.
Yeah.
I know.
He's
Yeah.
seen his beloved Joker die. He's just mad at the world now.
I thought
you
I
know?
had a loving girlfriend, but it turns out she was in my head and she disappeared after I started taking my meds.
Ah,
Damn.
hate when
Yeah.
that happens.
Hey.
He stopped taking his meds though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have the scene where he stops taking his meds in this movie too. Like a good 20% of this movie is just shit that happened in the first one, but they do it again.
Well, I mean, the girlfriend's way different this time. I think it's not really retreading old ground
I
too
mean,
much
everyone
there.
can relate to having an imaginary girlfriend in your head that you're convinced is real, but it turns out she doesn't even know you exist, and it's all a big part of fantasy. And you
Yeah,
break
yeah,
into her
naturally.
apartment and then do finger gun at your head
Yeah.
and then walk off.
Honestly, I thought the best scenes in the movie were when it was like, oh, let's bring the girlfriend to the stand and have her talk about the thing, right? Because it makes you think while you're watching the film. It makes you think back to scenes from Joker 1, a better film, and that's when that's the best thing that this movie has going for it is referencing shit from the other one. It's not a good situation, It's no good.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because in a courtroom drama, you would have to reference the actual happenings of the case. Come on, man.
In a courtroom drama, there'd be some sort of twist, oh, did he really do this? Did he? Except we watched a whole movie where he did, so we know he did.
Well, I mean, there were definitely twists in this movie,
Not real. There were twists for the jury where they're like, oh, I didn't know about the sixth murder, but we did because we watched the movie.
Yeah, I think he even mentioned it in this movie previously,
Yeah.
You
know what?
It was not a twist to us, but I mean, when he became the Joker, I thought that was somewhat of a twist, but maybe not. Okay, but then he turned out to not be the Joker. That was surely a twist.
He should have became the Jonker and started beatboxing on the stand.
He
And then
could have. He
everyone
almost did.
Just finds him innocent. That would be best, yes.
Yeah,
He did a lot of singing. Yeah. By the way, funniest scene, by the way, of the movie is when when Harley's on the stairs and he goes up to her and stuff, and he's like, "We got to talk about our relationship here." And she starts fucking singing, and he's like, "No, please God, I don't want to sing anymore." And she just keeps singing this like whatever like shitty 50s song this is or whatever. It's a great scene. And it blew my mind because like I did not realize throughout the whole movie that these songs are literally happening and they're not just like in his head, because like it's they're not like metaphorical, they're literally happening. They were actually singing together, I guess.
Damn, that was the real twist all along. That's crazy.
I guess maybe.
Yeah, well, literally, like as the trailers for this movie were coming out and they looked hopeful, and I actually was hopeful for this movie, I was already saying that 90% of it would be a dream sequence or like in his head. So I guess I was proven wrong.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like
It was all too real, man.
one of the early ones is like when they start singing and they're in she starts the prison fire and they break out and they just run out and they're almost able to escape and stuff. They have like barely any resistance to it. They're like literally a fence away from escaping prison. I thought like, oh, all of that's a dream. It's gonna cut back and he's like back in the real world, right? Like it did, like in the previous song, because the previous song was fake and it cut straight back to the moment right before the song began or whatever. But no, I guess this prison's really fucking incompetent and they almost let this like quintuple homicide guy like go free immediately from like a shitty fire in their stupid office.
Okay.
They didn't. It doesn't make any sense that burnt down the prison though. But I guess it did, even though the prison's fine, and the whole rest of the fucking movie, even though we saw billowing flames out of every window.
Well, damn. I mean, I guess we just see how bad of an influence Harley is on him. You know, he would have just gotten ready for his defense, but she just had to really mess with him. You know. Well, I think that was pretty powerful, though.
This is a stupid movie.
I mean, I didn't think that the breakout was fake. I didn't.
I don't know.
When did they reveal it? I mean, it was pretty clear it was real.
It doesn't make any sense, though. I thought, like, oh, it's so stupid that this could possibly be happening right now. Like, it doesn't make any sense that it's real. But it was.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Harvey Dent appearing in this film? Two-Face from Batman Mythos. He appears, he's the district attorney, and he gets blown up and he gets, like, 3 little scratches on his face, right? Just like Two-Face.
I mean, that was clearly pretty epic, you know? That's how that should have happened, yeah.
Yeah. You know, even in the gritty, realistic Christopher Nolan movies, he actually, like, lost half his face and he looked like Two-Face.
Well, I didn't actually see how much damage he took, so I missed that part.
He had, like, a little bit of scratches on his face. It was not a lot at all.
Damn, they're setting up Two-Face? I guess they really do. They really could make a Joker 3. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess they could.
They could.
They could.
They could continue it without our Joker.
Yeah. Gary is the Penguin, because he's short, like the Penguin is. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Except the Penguin hasn't been short lately in Penguin-based media, though. Mostly in the Batman and that Penguin show. He's not really that short.
Yeah. No, it's really upsetting. They should really keep in that short king representation.
They should. Danny DeVito, they will never get a better Penguin than Danny DeVito. Even though he's not the Penguin. That's like a totally different character from what he is in the comics. That's like peak Penguin.
Wait, was he ever the Penguin? What are you talking about? How did you get to him?
In Batman Returns, Danny DeVito plays the Penguin. But he's not like a smart business owner Penguin, right? He's like a shady like cave dweller penguin who eats people's noses or whatever happens.
Wow, I do not remember that. That's wild.
That's a classic. We should do every Batman movie, I think, on the show together.
Oh my god.
No.
You don't want to do Batman Returns? It's the best one.
Dude, I already agreed to do fucking Spider-Man movies with you. I don't want to do anything else.
Okay.
Can't have it all.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a very busy man. So many people want a piece of me at all times. It's like, oh, I gotta do this podcast, and I gotta do that one, and I gotta fucking fly halfway across the country to go to a concert with my best friend, and we're gonna stay there for a week.
That's true.
I mean, I thought you wanted to set that one up.
No, I'm just tagging along person.
Ah,
Yeah.
busy Hartsy. All right.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for being here on the Epic Podcast, and thank you guys for watching. This concludes Joker 2. Do you have anything you want to plug, Florian?
Yeah, everyone go find out whether or not I managed to do a response video to all the critical drinkers shitting on the Joker 2, you know, on anti-reviews. I sure hope they're not gonna have all the same points as you guys.
Okay. They probably will.
Yeah,
Except
you're
also
probably
it's woke
like
or
the
whatever.
drinker today, you're right.
Wow. I don't think that's true at all, okay?
Maybe Hartsy will be like the drinker.
I don't have an unlistenable Scottish accent, okay? That's very rude to imply.
I mean, he's very popular. He's clearly very listenable to a lot of people.
I
And he
only
makes very
drink
short
on the
videos.
I only drink on the weekend, okay?
Ah, you're unfamiliar with the critical drinker. That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some real brain rot content right there. Oof, you don't want to get into that one.
Artsy, what do you want to plug?
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't want my name to be attached to this shitty ass podcast.
Wow. Well, your
Yeah.
face is in the thumbnail.
No!
No! He can't get away!
Get fucked!
My face!
You're tied to this forever. Forever. This will be your lasting legacy, is the Joker 2 Colonelcast.
Wow.
No, this is not fair. Okay, you gotta blur out his face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I gotta blur out my face.
You
I'm not
can't,
doing
you
it.
can't
Care about
make
me until I
content
put
with
on the
him
Hartsy
if he
mask.
doesn't want to, okay?
The thumbnail's already done. It
Look,
can't
you
be
gotta-
fixed.
You gotta run a voice
you
voice
can-
changer for all the time where he speaks, okay?
Can't do it.
It needs to happen.
You can find me at Hartsy Potsy on YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, thank God we got the Hartsy right. Wow. You really would have had to edit all that video, huh?
Yeah,
I would not have.
I consent to my likeness being used.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Dementia Joker, I hardly know her.
And that's life.
That's life.
Yep.